We got 3 more games of men's footy this year. We're back on Australian soil. There's been some Ripper W games. I'm revved. It's time to bounce that pill. Legends, welcome to the Footy with Broden Kelly, a footy podcast. This episode's brought to you by Mobil Supreme plus 98 at 7-Eleven. Go further, go premium with Mobil Supreme plus 98 at 7-Eleven. I'm joined on Mondays, as I have from the very beginning. I'm joined by Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hey, mate.
Tell him about our day.
Well, I mean, first of all, Broden, are we just going to spend today talking about movies or...
No, we're going to talk about the Gold Coast Suns. Don't even worry about it. But tell them about today.
Oh, we've had a travel day from hell, I think it's fair to say.
Yes, you saw your team lose, eliminated from the finals.
Yeah, it kept me up fucking late as well because NZ's 2 hours behind.
Yes.
So I didn't even get a good night's sleep.
And then you woke up at what time in New Zealand?
About 7 a.m.
Okay, you go to the airport.
Yep.
That's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we had to do a carnet.
Yeah, that's awful stuff. And then you flew here for 4 carnets where you have to get this document signed for things that are worth over
$1,000.
So our lighting desks and stuff like that, it is hell. Then we got on a plane, flew 4 hours here.
Yeah.
Got off the plane, waited at the worst airport in the world, Melbourne Airport, to go through customs.
At customs, we had to show them our carnet.
Yeah, and then the carnet thing happened.
They were training someone, so we actually had to open up our shit and show them.
Nightmare. And then had to get on and hire a van, which took an extra hour.
Yep.
And then drove here, which was a disaster. Got here, and Paddy was here, and that was awful.
That was
just
great.
kidding. That was a light in the day. Hi,
Wasn't
Paddy.
it?
Hello, mate.
It's good to see you in the skin again.
Yeah, very good. Nice
Good
skin.
to see you in the skin.
It's a strange way to start a sentence, but sure.
Good to see your skin.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
It looks like you're either about to go fly fishing or you went to Banyule Primary School.
I don't.
He's
trade
wearing a blue
secrets.
polo is what he means by that.
That's it. You've got a real vibe happening.
That is all to say we're on the absolute precipice of collapsing, but
And stoked.
lucky that football is fueling us.
Yeah.
Like Mobil and 7-Eleven. But where else would I start but with a good old-fashioned round the grounds. The AFL men's final season has felt to me like a Michelin-rated 5-star restaurant, or 3-star if it's Michelin. Not that it has been good, more that it rarely delivers. Friday night saw the Crows crash out harder than a kid who went to a private school, got a good ATAR, went into law at Melbourne University, realised they hated it and really didn't know what they wanted to do with their lives, so they kind of just float and eventually drop out at the end of the first semester, early enough to not learn anything, but too early to avoid the HECS debt. Crows, number 1 on the ladder, lost to the Hawks, 8th on the ladder. However, Ginnivan didn't play that well, so he didn't do any dances or belly-rubbing moments. So it was kind of a loss all round. Hawks and Geelong are set for a prelim this week. It's a shame we won't see a game with a bit more of a rivalry, said Mr. Opposite Man. That shit's going to be frickin' awesome. Then, on Saturday night, I felt like an astronomer observing white dwarf remnants thousands of light years away because I was watching some dying suns. They ran out of petrol quicker than a P-plater on Punt Road. The Lions take on the Pies. We've got 1 interstate team left, 3 Vic teams and 1 pill. We're going to talk the D's new coach, AFLW updates, and Nzoland. Let's get into it. Give me one of them good old-fashioned steaks.
The man that likes planes, Jack Payne.
How good was that?
Oh, fantastic. 10 out of 10. Your best work yet.
But tell me, Tom, what is your Mobil Supreme 98 plus 7-Eleven at 7-Eleven moment of the round?
Yeah, so I think let's start with the Brisbane Gold Coast. What a game, what a disappointment. But I think my moment of the round was that Cam Rayner 85-metre kick. It really set the tone of like...
Tell me about this kick. Tell us, what, for people who don't, know what you're talking, don't know what 85 metres is.
I mean, I only watched it in real time, but I feel like he was running through the square and pretty much kicked it from the centre square, pretty much, right? And it had one bounce and went through.
Yeah, that was brutal.
But it just set the tone for we're not losing this. You guys have forgotten how good we are. Like, sure, Tom, get all excited about the Gold Coast and yeah, you've got potential, but we are the real deal. We don't show up all the time, but when we show up, we're unbeatable. And it really, after that, I was like, yeah, we're not. winning this game.
Similarly, my moment of the round was the first 3 goals from Hawthorn the night prior, where the game they just went. I know that Crows slowly came back, but they just went bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, they were just on fire. Hey.
And from that point, you're like, and similarly, I was like, well, Crows might come back here, but I think this is OVAH.
Couldn't agree, mate.
Over. Couldn't agree.
Couldn't agree more.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't agree.
No, sorry, disagree immensely.
Well, I've prepared some stuff, Tom, so give me that sting. Let's talk about the Suns and Brisbane.
I'm angry, to be fair. And as a footy club, we've got to grow the fuck up.
Oh, Tom, how sad.
It really is. I mean, there's so many positives, but let's start with the sad.
You mozzed him.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, I know you're sad, and I know all our Suns fans are sad, so I prepared a song.
Fantastic.
This is what you do when you have a 3-hour flight in the air. Goodbye, Suns. Now, I did this, but I didn't change the choruses because I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, great.
Closing time. Organise Mad Monday and go out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the trade talks over every boy and Tom, Dick and Earl. Closing time. No more games of football for the men's team you cannot cheer. Closing time. You can't watch the finals, but you can't stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I didn't change the lyric. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. Suns are out. Goodbye, Suns. Closing time. Time for you to go and be like the team Adelaide Crom. Closing time. You will not be playing until 40 more academy picks come. So gather your pink Guernseys, enjoy overseas journeys, enjoy watching your Lion friends. Closing time. Tom will not have anything to do on all of his weekends. Come on. I know who I want to take me home. Goodbye, Suns. I know who I want to take me home. I'll go down and register. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. Gold Coast Suns are eliminated. And then
Yes, they are.
the rest. Now you tell me what to do. The rest of the song is more just vibes and
sure.
bridges and the same chorus again.
I'm down.
So we could talk. Goodbye, Suns. You played your first finals. You won a game,
Did bloody well, honestly.
and then you lost a game.
Yeah.
Crows played 2 rounds as well, and everyone's mad at them. Gold Coast Suns, Will Powell, Bodie Eulens, Sam Collins, John Noble, awful game. Mac Andrew, really bad at points.
Yeah, not great.
Daniel Rioli, pretty good. Lockie Weller, Matt Rao, Braden Fiorini, Tuke Miller, Ben Ainsworth, bad. Bailey Humphrey, Ben Long, always good. Ben King, pretty good. Farrar. Closing time. You are the Gold Coast Suns, and you are now not going to play anymore.
Goodbye, Suns.
If you're trying the podcast for the first time this week, I'm sorry. I know who I want to take me home. Gold Coast Suns, I know who I want to take me home. Jared Witts, I know who I want to take me. Alex Davies, take me. No, Anderson, what a captain. But they're on pre-season now.
Yeah.
Sam Flanders, Ethan Reid, Connor Buderick, and Joel Jeffrey. And you're missing some good players here. David Swallow. Goodbye, David Swallow. Off to the great Gold Coast
Sun.
In
the sky.
In the sky. Got cheered off. All right, I'm going to fade it out. I've had enough.
Yeah, great. I was ready to go all the way, but yeah.
We lost so many listeners. Now, this game,
Yeah.
you mozzed them.
Yeah, potentially completely my fault, but I just was sick of being the peasant.
But I think that's right. I think it was worth it, Tom, because to see the optimism, to see the light in your eyes, a man who walks into this room every week and says things like, we're not going to win.
Which is true.
Matt Rao's leaving.
Wow.
Damien Hardwick won't coach us. All these things. Finally, there's some optimism, and it's nice. I'm glad. I think everyone walks out saying big win for Suns this year.
I think so. Yeah, I do. I guess the so much positivity around it, and I think we'll talk about Brisbane as well. But I do think it just did feel like there was that little opportunity where we're coming up against teams we'd beaten. There was an opportunity here. That's what hurts the most, I think, because you know how hard it is.
Yeah.
1, to make finals, 2, let alone win finals.
Yeah.
I feel like we really let Brisbane win in a lot of ways, and we'd beaten them only 6 weeks ago. So it is sad, and I'm like Devo because I genuinely believe that we could do it. But we move on and we look to next year.
From the Lions, right?
Yeah,
How did their midfield turn around so dramatically?
I think we let them a little bit. Remember in the Wednesday I was talking about how I hoped that Tuke went and shut down McCluggage, and I don't think that really happened. And
Do you think that you let them?
A little bit. I think Hardwick wants to play a free-flowing game, right? Because their midfield last week when they lost was just like a shell of what they were against the Suns. And I think you have to blame the Suns a little bit for that, right?
Which makes me think they have very little chance against the Pies at the MCG next
It's interesting.
week.
I don't know. I think I'd be more worried about they've got zero chance against Geelong, I feel like. Because they won't let the midfielders have the ball against Geelong. But they won't play Geelong, will they?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They've already played Geelong.
Yeah, they've already played Geelong. And that's why they lost to Geelong, because their midfield is so strong. And we spoke about it last week. They took the ball away from the midfield.
Probably should have been one of our moments of the round, but Dunkley with 18 tackles is the highest anyone's ever tackled in the world of tackling.
Yeah,
is my understanding.
He's really incredible. And you let him do that defensive role, that's fine. But to let the Ashcroft boys and McCluggage off the hook when Neil's out, it should have been they didn't miss him at all, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, funny in the EPL when they call kicking the ball out of the way of someone a tackle.
Yeah,
because in my head, a tackle is grabbing someone and pulling them to the ground and throwing them to the game. What is the etymology of tackle?
I think it must be to do with taking the ball off someone, right, or something. I don't know.
It must be. That must be where it comes from.
Yeah.
Rayner, as you said at the start, he looked to me like maybe he did last year. Maybe I'm being naive, but he looked to me like he's arrived in that kind of realm of Dusty Petrarca, in that these big
call.
Forward midfield types who break tackles, because he turned the game, particularly with that one you're talking about. He's gone from being a potential to an arrived potential as that guy who you can't tackle him. He gets these clutch goals. He's in the midfield, but he's also kicking really important goals. And they're more important for Brisbane now than ever because they don't have any forwards left.
No, I'm with you that he's a fantastic player. I still think he's miles off where I thought he was going to be. That's why I'm so harsh on him, because I really thought when he went at pick 1 and he looked like this explosive ball, I thought he was going to be the best player in the comp.
I think this type of player, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Dusty maybe doesn't fit into this as much as the Goeys and the Petrarcas and this, but this is the role that they value. At different times, they've said this role of forward mid,
it's so important,
is the most important one.
Yeah, and he has his moments where,
but that role often goes missing a lot. Is what I would say. They're not the ones who you see doing everything.
Yeah, I think Paddy tweeted it even, but Bailey Humphrey is our one at the Suns, and he had a goal and 4 touches or something. So it's
right.
They are
exactly
right.
But Petrarca's the one who won the Norm Smith for the D's.
Yeah.
But then also there's games where you go, where is Christian Petrarca today?
Yeah.
It's kind of just comes with the role.
I think playing small forward can be that as well.
Yeah.
If you don't get lucky, it's just very hard as a small forward. And,
Rayner broke Dusty's record for the most broken tackles in a game with 8, which
you
is significant.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Ashcroft as well.
Both of them.
As people might have seen, I did these ads for Google for the finals, and I sat down across from this 21-year-old for about an hour, who just the most successful child I've ever seen in my life.
Basically, right? ACL.
So he's played 2 years.
Yeah.
This is his 3rd year.
Yeah. Would have been number 1 pick.
One of the seasons he had an ACL.
Yeah.
Another season he has a Norm Smith, a rising star.
Yeah.
what else? There's more. Goal of the year. He has a premiership medal in 1 year.
No, he's a proper gun.
And then he was just about best on ground for this game, I would have said as well.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I think Dunkley was really important. I think Rayner was really important. But this bloke had he's unbelievable. He's better than Dacos.
That's debatable.
That's what I think.
I don't know if I can get into that right now.
I think that's Vic bias if you don't agree with me, and you're not welcome to listen. Turn off now if you disagree.
I think just Dacos is a few years on, so it's hard to compare. You know, Dacos has a bigger resume just because he's played a bit more.
I think if Ashcroft was playing for Collingwood, we would be. I think the MCG would have blown up by now.
Potentially,
with hype. I think he's better than Dacos.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think 5 seasons versus 2 or whatever.
By the way, Collingwood fans, I'm talking about Dacos in the frame of being the best of a generation. So don't get too mad at me.
No, I don't think I can jump on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if, while it's all said and done.
Can the Lions do this? Does anyone think the Lions can do this?
If they keep playing like that, absolutely. It's the Lions that won last year, right? It's the Lions that, sure, they're down a few key cogs, but they're just incredible when they're on, and they look unbeatable. But they have to play it perfectly, I guess, from here on out, which seems unlikely after what they showed up against Geelong like last week, right?
What do you think, Patrick?
I still go back to thinking they lost their premiership full forward and centre-half forward and centre-half back and 2-time Brownlow medalists through the midfield. And I still think they're really good.
Yeah.
But Collingwood winning that game and coming together at the right time. And even if I think they can accidentally themselves into a grand final. But if they come up against even Hawthorn, I think it might be a bit of a bloodbath.
I think as we sit here, and I'm sorry to do this to all the beautiful listeners, but I reckon there's a 99.9% chance that the grand final is Collingwood and Geelong. I think Hawthorn and Brisbane have zero chance.
I think let's not undervalue them. Like, I think everything you say is valid, but they've found a way to kick goals. They've got a 20-year-old who kicked 50 goals this year, which is incredible. Like, I think they find a way to win, and they're so stacked. It's more of like a cultural thing that I think is what happens when they lose, you know? Like, so I think if they're in the right flow, they can do it. But I agree with you that I'm just not 99%. I'm probably 80%.
I think it's all set and delivered. Bang, it's happening.
Yeah, interesting.
I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not. Pies would be scared though. I think both Collingwood and Geelong this weekend would be going, I wish we weren't playing them because I feel
they'd much rather have Hawthorn.
Collingwood at the moment, maybe Collingwood, maybe I don't have their read, but they've just, I feel like Brisbane maybe have their number a little bit, and at least they have they lost them the other week.
Yeah.
But, Pies would be a little bit concerned, but not too worried at the MCG with a sold out 100,000 people this week.
They beat them in the granny, right?
Sun season a win.
Yes, for sure, 100%. I thought they might take half a step backwards to move forward. They've absolutely taken a full step forward. I think the saddest thing about all this is I feel like maybe Freo would have beaten Brisbane and it would have been fun to see Freo. Like, I feel like maybe Freo should have beaten us. I think the one thing I really wanted to say to our listeners is I do think there's 4 Suns who will play in our next premiership who didn't play, and they're pretty great players. So I would say Leo Lombard will be in our next premiership.
Yep.
Say Walters will be in our next premiership, Jed Walters.
Yep.
I'd say Charlie Ballard will be in our next premiership. I'd say Zeke Euland, who's going to be potentially pick 1 next year, will be in our next premiership. So I think that's pretty 4 massive outs. So if you take our worst 4 and put those 4 are going to be, then it's going to be really good. And I think it's, I hate this idea now that I shouldn't get complacent and think we're going to play finals every year. I think that would be a mistake. We can easily miss out next year. It's such a good competition. But in the next 5 to 10, we're going to be making appearances in September if all goes well, I think. And it's going to be very serious.
Great.
So big win.
Give me a sting, Tom.
That's what I'm talking about!
Hawks Crows was a great game. I've probably oversold how it's been pretty straightforward and pretty boring as far as the finals go. I've had a overrepresentation of blowouts, I think, and apart from the Fremantle Suns game and then a large portion of this game.
Yeah.
I think it's been pretty straightforward. But that is all to say, Crows bad.
Yeah, because I still think the 2 Crows games have been massive upsets, even though they've sort of ended up being fizzes in a way. They've still been massive upsets.
The crowd before this game started, in the second round of the finals, a sold out Crows Adelaide fan base. The crowd noise said to me that the Crows didn't feel great.
Yeah.
The aura was a little bit lost, or their excitement was a little bit lost.
100.
They are the first team, the Adelaide Crows, to finish on top of the ladder and then proceed to straight sets exit the finals since 1983.
And surely it's the first time first has lost to eighth to get knocked out or something as well.
No, it's happened a bunch of times. It's happened a little bit here or there. The contrary is more prevalent.
That's funny.
The one have beat 8 a lot.
Yeah, interesting.
But it's not. I saw some stats floating around that it's happened here or there, but
still
very rarely.
Must be super rare.
Very, very rarely. Hawthorn, that when they started this game, I know Crows came back, as I said earlier, but they just kept going, and it was almost comical how it seemed like the Crows were just completely punched in the nose immediately and didn't know what to do with themselves. And they, to their credit, got the game back on their terms. Hey, I just said an AFL thing. Got the game back on their terms.
I love that. I agree with you, Broden. I think the Adelaide have the better midfield, but it doesn't matter because John Newcombe is just this great finals player and turning into this finals specialist, and they just couldn't go with him.
He was even me sitting there could go, maybe tag that guy.
Or just
maybe tag that guy,
and
they did, and they did.
Yeah,
they did do that.
But I saw this graphic going around Twitter of his performances in the last all 5 finals he's ever played, and they've been
he's a
pretty
final,
fucking
he's
crazy.
a finals man.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right? Because the speed gets taken out of the game. He's not a fast,
it becomes
guy.
contest.
Yeah, and people like him should really excel in those situations.
The Crows got smashed in the midfield, so there was some chat around about how their midfield play wouldn't stand up in finals, and it's just completely true.
Yeah,
their midfield is unplayable in the finals at the moment. They need to pick up a few more people. They would have loved Wanganeen Malira, obviously.
It's interesting. I really felt I don't know. It's just a vibe thing, but I sort of like. I know Laird is sort of half back and all that sort of stuff, but I feel like he runs through there. I like Dawson a lot, as you guys know.
Laird
I like
was there. They went to Laird, and he was their only option for doing this. So they don't have anyone else to go to apart from Laird, who has been wanting in that position in midfield before, which is the worry.
Yeah, I think if I was to, again, off guts, not off stats or anything, I feel like their midfielders just turn it over by foot a lot.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do a lot of dump kicks. In that Collingwood game last week, that's all they did. But it tells you that maybe their midfield don't have a lot of time. Once the tackling fuel
absolutely
steps up.
A and B was not who he was in the season as well, right?
I was shocked.
We had Melbourne A and B, not Adelaide A and B.
Hey now. Some key players went missing at the end of the year for Adelaide as well, like players you could rely on for front half of the year, like Fogarty. I think for the past 5 or 6 weeks is if Tex Walker has played his last season, which even if he doesn't want to, I think Adelaide might be having serious conversations about that. You would want him to be the one who chooses it.
Yeah,
but I don't think you can go with him again because he's had his renaissance and he's now dropped off a little bit as well.
Sure. Can I just say for the record, I'm still a big Fogarty believer. I still think he's so young and so talented. I think he'll be fine.
I'm sure he'll be fine, but in this key part of the year,
it's tough.
It wasn't Phil Thorpe, Fogarty, Walker anymore.
No.
I think he became a bit unreliable there.
Well, hopefully they only play the 2 talls, and when they get some smalls back next year, they play a more balanced forward line maybe.
On the other end of it, though, Gunston. It's actually ridiculous.
It's crazy.
How has this happened?
It should be the biggest story of the year. It is in a lot of ways. Delisted last year, I believe, right?
Well, but kind of orchestrated delisting.
Yeah, but anyone could have picked him up technically in the rookie draft. Technically anyone could have grabbed him.
But I think Sam Mitchell was kind of vulnerable or open in saying, I didn't see this coming. We got him back to kind of play Box Hill and develop some young players.
Yeah, that's totally fine and fair. And then he's come out and kicked 70 now?
Yeah.
It's really
the
really
difference.
Special.
It's why they're about to go into a prelim.
Yeah,
because you could almost say, who would you prefer at this moment? Would you prefer Jeremy Cameron or Jack Gunston? You could almost do that.
Yeah, it's tough. I can't think I don't have the words to describe how massive it is, and this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest story that's ever happened in the AFL.
He's
almost
70 goals, 30, so he's kicked straight.
And he's the second oldest player to ever kick 70, I think, in a year. He's just... And the other one was who's that guy who commentates for Brisbane?
Jonathan Brown.
The other one.
Alistair Lynch.
He was the last one at 34 to kick 70 goals in a season, I think. So that's a pretty impressive
Do you know the story about
parallel.
him? Do you know him in his last game, the story there?
No, I don't think so.
He walked, so he was playing against, say the name, the Port player. Wakelin, who had a twin brother who played for Collingwood.
Yeah.
And he walked up to him on grand final day. This is the one that Brisbane lost. So they were going for 4. Sure. He walked up to Wakelin and said, he just went, hello, this is my last game. If you come near me, I'm going to punch you in the head and drop you.
Yeah.
And so Wakelin went, oh, yeah. And then went, and they full on just went, there's this footage of him fully just throwing punches like a boxing match.
Wow. And
the result is he had a shit game.
Yeah, right.
His eye wasn't on playing football.
Was that the year he kicked 70 though? I imagine it must have been, right? Like if
Maybe.
At 34, surely he didn't play much longer. Also, every stat I ever say in this podcast could be wrong, so take it with a grain of salt. But my point being that I can't think of a cooler, more interesting storyline ever. Like, you know, it's insane.
Apparently, it wasn't that year that he did that.
It was the 2 previous where he kicked 78 and 74 in 2003.
As a over 34-year-old, that's fucking crazy, isn't it?
But Gunston it's actually ridiculous. Like he goes again next year now, doesn't he?
Oh, I think if he wants to, right?
He must.
It feels like for the last 3 years he's been like Luke Brucing it, like hanging out, but not really.
Bruce did his knee very badly in
I
Box Hill.
saw
Did you
that.
see that?
That's sad.
It was visceral to look at. Visceral experience.
But it felt like, this year was supposed to be a David Swallow, a Cal Ward, just a hang around one extra year sort of thing.
Nah,
he's the best forward in the comp.
But yeah, Cameron versus Gunston is like the best 2 full forwards of the year, maybe going head to head now.
Yeah, it's so fucked up that
it is.
It is. It's so fucked up that we get a Geelong Hawthorn prelim like it's fucking 2011 all over again.
I was going to say, I think Geelong fans are like, really didn't want this.
Yes.
Really didn't want this.
It's so funny because when I was a Hawthorn supporter, Geelong was the one team I feared. They were the only ones I feared.
Oh, they hate each other. They really are. Because those are some unbelievable
incredible
games in
just
the early 2010s.
all-time lists from both teams, right?
And also I have to mention Weddle and how good he is now.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that surprising, I guess? Not really. He was picked 18 or something, right?
They've just developed him so fantastic.
Yeah.
Where are the Crows?
Up again next year, I assume, unless they have psychological damage.
Yeah, like you don't want to go crazy and change too much because you finished top of the ladder. But do you feel good? Do you feel bad? Do you just go again?
Would you feel better if you're a Gold Coast fan, Tom, or an Adelaide fan?
So hard to say, but personally, my gut is Gold Coast, younger and better, and have more in the reserves and stuff, and won't need to make trades or anything.
As far as potential goes, Suns have much more potential. I feel like Crows have shown a lot of their cards.
Yeah.
So we know who their skipper is.
Yeah.
We know where Walker is. Like, there's a few players where you know where they're at.
Yeah.
Their ceiling comes from players without doing any preparation, like Curtin.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we have midfielders to spare at Gold Coast. That's what's so crazy about the list, like Leo can't get in there, like it's insane. But I do think if I'm an Adelaide supporter, I'm not worried at all. You're going to be up there next year, unless you're psychologically damaged, in which case that's scary because you could be about to come out next year and you don't show up again. And that's really worrying.
They recruited really well last year, right? They clogged some holes. They did some really good recruiting that worked for them. But they need to do some stuff. They need to do some work.
Yeah. I'd get another midfielder in maybe. It's hard to say. Maybe they can, because didn't their number one pick, he played 12 games but didn't really have much of an impact, so he could still be a star. What's his name, Paddy?
Sid Draper.
Sid Draper could, they have maybe players there. It's so hard to say, but I would just worry that this has done a huge amount of damage.
Yeah.
To the group.
Yeah.
Because, again, as a Suns fan, I reckon Mac Andrew and Raul and stuff are partying today going, how good was this year? We really fucking did it for the first time. We made history. Whereas I reckon if you're an Adelaide player today, you're going, oh, man, we were supposed to make the granny.
Yeah.
So what damage does that do to your list? I don't know. Worrying.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing.
But
also fuck Adelaide.
A huge for Hawks. No, none of that. Hawks going into a prelim. It still feels like not that long ago where they were not a real contender team, and now they properly are. I mean, they finished 8th.
Yeah. Is this Sam Mitchell 4th year?
Oh, don't even.
Or has it been a while now? Because Clark has been at North for ages, so it must be way longer. But it just feels like it's been about the right timeline for Mitchell. You know what I mean? He had a few years building, and now he's had 2 years in the finals.
I think he became coach in 2022.
Yeah, so that would make this his fourth year. Yeah, that's about right. That's a good little timeline.
It's kind of unbelievable that they forced out a 4-time premiership coach. They fired a 4-time premiership coach because they ranked this guy who'd never coached before.
Yeah.
And they are completely vindicated by it.
Yeah, because I feel like Hawthorn's the team that I keep underrating, because I think about their list and I just don't see superstar talent everywhere. I just keep going, oh, yeah, they're not that good. And then they just surprise pack it because they are that good. And I've got to get on board with the fact that they're really good. We should talk really quickly about that drive-by that Kennett did on
Jeff
Twitter,
Kennett.
which was,
Jeff Kennett did a whole thing. Well, we'll talk about Stephen King after this, but he just did this real thing about I think it's a great idea to get an unproven coach, clearly just going, fucking told you.
Yeah.
Don't go and
like he
because
clearly
he has
was
a
saying, against Clarko. Right?
I mean, getting behind the scenes of Hawthorn, there's some very, we could get into that. And how there's some real grubs there.
Yeah.
But probably today, better to just celebrate Hawthorn and the team that they've turned around. They are a good team to watch as well, I'll be honest.
So fun to watch.
The one thing, Ginnivan is apparently carrying a hamstring or something had like 4 touches or something and had no impact on the game. And the question is, do you play him again?
I would, for sure, just for vibes.
For vibes alone.
And I don't know, again, like we said earlier, he's not a Petrarca type, but he's like a small forward type. And it is, sometimes it's really easy to go missing and win that role, even if you're injured or fully healthy, So
we're going into the game of the provocateurs. I mean, Bailey Smith has transcended that and jumped to being a proper prick. That was so out of line last week. And I'm waiting with bated breath to see what Chris Scott says, because Chris Scott never admits fault.
Yeah.
And he never shows any kind of vulnerable concession. So I'm keen to see how he comes out and says Bailey Smith abusing someone in their workplace for something that they were within their absolute rights to do was okay. Or I'm curious to see how, because he has not talked about it yet.
But he had to apologise for his own instance this week, didn't he?
He apologised. He apologised to her on.
Oh,
Bailey
right.
Smith's
I thought
behalf.
it was a separate thing. He had to apologise.
He has apologised to her on his behalf, but he's not talked about Bailey Smith to my knowledge yet, unless that's changed. But then Bailey Smith texted an apology.
Yeah, right. I'm better than nothing, but yeah, it was not.
I know, completely unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree. I would get fired if I did that in this workplace. If I walked in on Paddy taking a photo of me and like unleashed on him, I would be let go.
Particularly if it was at a photo shoot.
Yes, exactly. Or like I said, I think I would be let go. I think you would too, Broden.
Yes, I think so too. No, it was bizarre. And I'm like, I think Poppy Penny talked about this as well, about if this was the 40th player on North Melbourne, what would happen there. And the truth is, he'd be suspended.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not going to happen.
No.
But I'm just curious to see what Geelong say, because Chris Scott is the master of avoiding blame.
So
I'm keen to see what he says.
Yeah.
I'm desperate to see what he says. I'm like, I wish he'd said something
him.
so fun. I'll call him now. Do you have his number?
Hey, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Give me that sting. Friday. So having a tough day on Friday. Bad day. And then at about 4 o'clock, 7 AFL put up, Stephen King is the coach of Melbourne. And I'm like, now another fucking thing. I was like, another fucking thing.
Day just went downhill from there.
I was like, so my position then was, I was looking at this image of Stephen King. He's gone through the entire coaching campaign with Melbourne. There was about 6 in the end who were going for it. And everyone was saying Nathan Buckley has got this job. It's there's no guarantee. There's a guarantee it's going to be Buckley.
Yeah.
And then I wanted Buckley. I thought he was really. I was like, he's going to help us with sponsors. He's going to have that aura leadership thing that Melbourne really needs. It's going to give us this kind of big club mentality. I thought he was really the right person for the gig. I thought Buckley was in a position really to be the one who, I want another chance and I'm really going to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then just out of nowhere, no, Stephen King. And I was like, oh. And looking at the photo, my first thought was, I'm going to be fine with this in half an hour. I'm going to be so on board with this in half an hour. But I'm just so bored by the fact that I know I'm going to be fine with this in half an hour.
Totally. It didn't feel like a bold choice. I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts, I guess. But
yes. So then it came out. The one thing that I can say unanimously and I know we have a lot of Melbourne supporters, so I'm going to indulge for a second.
Please go for it.
The one thing that excites me more than anything is that it wasn't leaked.
Yeah.
So they broke it on a Friday afternoon, my understanding, because they didn't want it to get out to Tom Morris or Jay Clark or Sam McClure or any of them. And I can tell, at least Tom Morris was genuinely upset about it because he's gone and found another quote immediately. But I reckon the CEO has rung Jared Waitley and given him the scoop to break on SEN.
Right.
And then they've they've just gone, get it out, because the first photo they put out of King is a photoshopped him in his Geelong uniform at Cardinia Park with a photoshopped Melbourne hat on.
Yeah.
So they've clearly, we're doing it now, we have to go now.
Yeah.
But it didn't leak. And it's Guerra's first week as CEO, and I was just really excited to see something didn't leak.
Yeah, that's
and it
great.
means there's a conscious decision to like kind of
Titan ship.
and that made me happy. Firstly, with that,
Absolutely.
and then Tom Morris went and found another trying to find what he was saying about it, which was that Nathan Buckley, when asked, I think the coaching panel said, if we offered you the job now, would you take it? And he said, I'd need until next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because he was meeting with Tasmania on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's been widely reported that Buckley was the Tasmania's man.
Yeah.
And that they were going to go hard for him. And I imagine he'd probably get paid better at Tasmania, but it's a very big gig.
I think it's perfect for both. And I do think the other thing was, isn't it, I could be making this up, but isn't also Buckley was like, and I wouldn't start till grand final week because of his media commitments and stuff?
I didn't see
No?
that.
I could've
didn't
made that
see
up.
that.
But that could have been something.
I didn't see that. I've listened to everything.
Yeah, maybe someone was just putting it out there on Twitter and I thought it was fact.
But there was two streams of thought with this. Is Melbourne were unprofessional because they were scared and they went, oh, well, then he's going to just go to Tassie, so we'll just go with the second best option.
Sure, yeah.
And that's one group of thinking is they went, oh, well, he's not committed, let's just not give him the job. Mm-hmm. But there was also a mentality there that some were saying he was asking questions of them and they didn't like that, so they just went, let's go with the other guy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then the other side of it is they interviewed everyone. Stephen King was just clearly above anyone else. When they went to Buckley, who they were genuinely also considering, he went, oh, give me till next week. And we went, well, before you even said that, he was ahead of you.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Why would we wait? Let's just,
Yeah, 100%. I do think it is one of those ones where it's like, if you want to be the coach of Melbourne, which is the highest honour basically and the highest responsibility, then you better be cancelling all other plans. So I get that.
By the way, Stephen King is not, he's going to continue to coach Geelong until the grand final.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what I read and I thought it was about Buckley.
But
that's exactly that's what I've done.
Stephen King. So it's kind of, there's a silver lining for me in having to watch Geelong win a flag now. I'll be like, well, he's going to walk in with a bit of aura at Melbourne that he's just won a flag, which is nice.
100%. I think it's like on the personality thing as well. I think like Buckley brings so much aura and so much like attention and like you said, good for sponsors and stuff. But it's also negative as well. There's pros and cons to it, right? Like Stephen King, I'd never heard of, like legitimately.
Yeah.
And I think there's huge.
That's crazy that you hadn't heard of him because he coached Gold Coast.
Yeah, and I just don't remember that because someone said to me it was after Dew, but it wasn't. It was after the coach before when I was just like way less engaged. It was after Eid. Yeah, and like I remember watching Eid press conferences. I just don't remember
who coached after Dew.
I don't know.
Dean
I-
Solomon?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Or someone like that.
No, I'm pretty sure Stephen King coached that time because Stephen King coached the Bulldogs for a decade and was a coup to the Suns.
You are right. So it was Solomon coached after Eid and King coached after Stewie G.
Yeah, I just don't remember. Yeah,
Broden knows footy.
very odd.
I know everything about Stephen King now is what I know.
No, it's just like one of those ones. Maybe he just has one of those faces. I still don't know what he looks like.
He was a big ruckman. He kicked Jeff White in the face. The other thing that gives me confidence is the coaching selection group for Melbourne were like Frank Panisi, who's Melbourne Storm, very well run, and then a bunch of independent people who are in this world. And it made me think that like if one guy has come in and just done a better job, apparently his big sell was the Geelong model where it's like coaching is moving to a group of coaches kind of closer to what NFL is, where there's a team of like
Absolutely.
and you're overseeing and empowering a group of people as opposed to being the guy.
Absolutely.
And apparently, yeah, I'd love to have heard his sell, but you know.
Even down to fitness, like you see Essendon have record numbers of injuries, so they fire their fitness guy, right? Like it's totally a wider team. And you don't want to hire a head coach who's going to tell the fitness person how to run their department. You want the right person to get the best out of your fitness coach, you know? So yeah, it's absolutely a team effort, and it's more and more that for sure.
But I'm on board now. But it just feels like there's a bit of stability happening more than anything, so I'm happy with that. Yeah. Give me that sting.
Collingwood have closed like the Grim Reaper!
New Zealand, Tom.
Yeah.
They're just a strange people.
Yeah.
They're strange.
I agree
Don't
with
you
you.
think?
Yeah.
I don't know. People think that Australia and New Zealand are the same people. I disagree. I think we're similar on surface,
Yeah.
but core different. Like alligator to crocodile.
Yeah.
There's something just so inside different
Yeah, I agree.
about New Zealanders and Australians. What do you notice as the differences?
I mean, they're a more reserved and cautious people, I feel like.
Yes, they're very much smaller
Yeah.
in their outlook and the way they talk. And yeah,
The only thing that comes to me really strong is, did I tell you about the name thing? Because I really want to tell the listeners about the name thing.
no,
I met two people who spelt their names funny. And the way they spelt them was the name that phonetically you said it in a New Zealand accent. So I met an Allison spelt with an E, like Ellison.
Ellison,
And then I met a Darren spelt with an I at the end, so Darren.
Darren.
And I was just like, I love this. Like, fuck yeah, like phonetically spelling your name. I love it. I just wanted to say that.
It's just different. It's
Oh, it's so
just
different.
Strangely, because you want to go, hey, how you going, mate? Like, and it makes you, you've kind of, it crystallizes what Australianness is as well.
Yeah.
Because the way we're talking now, they would never talk
No.
like this.
And their beef is almost 3 times more expensive than our beef.
Yeah, they got a very expensive beef, but it's probably better beef if we're being honest.
Potentially, yeah, potentially. But yeah, I think it
so
was very interesting. I hadn't been for 5 years, and the place has changed a lot.
Go on.
I just, I think they've had a tough time since COVID. Is the vibe I got.
Oh,
'cause
they
it's-
went down during COVID, but then
Yeah.
I think they're back on the rise now.
Are they? Yeah, because to me it was like Wellington. My memory was like one of the most beautiful places in the planet, and it was real rough.
Wellington is
so-
going through it a little bit, but it
Yeah.
is a wonderful place.
Christchurch is gorgeous. We
Yeah.
went for a walk together through the rain in
Remember
Christchurch.
when you saw the snow-capped mountains?
Oh, wasn't it beautiful?
Give me that sting.
Leon Barry, you star!
Time for AFLW. 8 games have happened as we sit here. We talked about the 2 kind of rip-schnorter games being on Sunday, and they're happening literally. The siren has just blown on these 2 games.
Yeah.
So we was going to say North were going up to play the Lions at Springfield. Lions needed to win this to start their season in the right way.
100% grand final rematch.
They needed, otherwise they were in big trouble.
Yep.
You were going to think this is like 2 of the best teams going head to head. It's going to be brutal. North Melbourne just obliterated them.
Yeah.
By 29 points, right? And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but they
that's huge.
just muscled them out. And as we sit here, the Brisbane Lions have won 2 games. Is that right?
2 out of 5, yeah.
They are sitting, and there's one more game to go. They are sitting 9th.
Yeah.
And they've played 4 and they've won 2.
Yeah. Feels like over's a little bit even.
They probably will get back from that, but it's a hard start.
I feel like this is what happens. We spoke about it in the men's a lot, but this is what happens when you lose a grand final. It's fucking brutal. It's hard to get back there, I feel like.
And then the other one is Hawthorn. We were going to see how much they've risen, how good they're going to be when they came up against Crows in Adelaide, and they lost.
Yeah.
They lost comprehensively.
In Frankston as well, worth saying.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very windy down there.
Yeah, Frank. Oh, that looked beautiful. I was watching it before.
Yeah,
that's actually
but
quite a beautiful stadium.
really
It's
hard to kick
obviously
goals.
can't play football there, obviously,
No, you can't get goals there.
but they kicked a lot of goals there.
Yeah.
So that was huge.
More
So
than usual, yeah.
I think Crows are legit again, as always. But they're the 2 games we were most looking forward to. Poor old Essendon today as well.
I know, got absolutely smacked on, right? Which I didn't expect. I really believed in Essendon this year. I thought they were much better.
Yeah. So Collingwood beat Sydney at Vic Park, which was also
crazy.
That was Chloe Malloy revenge game for Collingwood.
Yeah, I know, right?
They said,
'Cause
you're going to beat us?
all
You're going to
the
leave
talk
us?
was Malloy's kicked the most goals. Could she break the record and kick the most goals ever? And then I think just managed the 1 against Collingwood.
Collingwood
which is
said, get stuffed.
really surprising. I love that.
So their unbeaten start's done. The ex-son, Kalinda Howarth, Do you know her?
Yep.
Kicked 3 goals and Ash Centra kicked 2. Ash Centra is very slowly arriving is the vibe.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
More of these bounces through the legs coming.
Yes.
And then I watched as I was getting ready to perform in Auckland, the most infuriating game, as we just decided to not play proper footy, the Ds, for a half.
Shame.
And they just got us at the end, Port. Like, we came home hard. I think we had to kick 3 goals in the last quarter. And Port's just destroyed our undefeated start. They defeated us. 90 seconds, Indy Tahoe kicked 3 goals. Good on him.
Still sitting
Not
in
the
second,
last,
though.
They held us
so-
off in the last 90 seconds. Indy Tahoe kicked 3 goals. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, still in second and still a 200 plus percentage. So
Thankfully,
right.
thankfully, Swans lost,
Yeah.
which really helped. Giants won.
Yeah.
The Giants won is the story.
Yep.
So Marnie revved them up. The Giants kicked 7 second half goals to win their first game since round 1 last season. 378 days since their last win.
That's crazy.
Georgia Garnett kicked 3 goals
And doggies kicked 3
in a quarter. And then doggies. Yeah, doggies. That's a bad loss for them. But
Well, I mean, they had more scoring shots. I always like to look at that immediately, right? When I'm like, what happened here? 3-11 is brutal for the doggies.
speaking of brutal, the official team of this podcast, Blues,
Yeah.
have won their 3rd in a row. 7 goals to none after halftime.
Yeah.
Sophie McKay, 3 goals in game 4
Yeah.
of her career.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
And I'm not even upset because it's our team. Like, I'm all about Carlton.
Yeah.
Fuck
Saints
yeah.
pumped Essendon at Windy Hill. Sad. Dons were 2 players down before quarter time.
I've got a friend who went to this game of footy who's an Essendon supporter and is just so sad. Liam, apparently the Dons, so they're missing their best tall defender in Brooke Brown, their best rebounding defender in Maddie Gay, their second best rebounding defender in Sophie van der Heuvel, and they were 2 and then 3 players down in this game of footy. So
Yeah.
it's just not worked out for them.
Speaking of awful, Tigers still winless.
Yeah.
Cats pumped them.
Does that put them squarely on the bottom? It does.
Yeah,
there you
rough.
go.
There's some draft picks coming in for the Tigers.
Oh,
You love that.
We're going to need them.
You are the place.
We need
you are literally rebuilding your stadium at the same time you're rebuilding your men's team. So why not?
Well, the VFL men's team's going okay, and the Richmond Footy Club sacked their VFLW team a few years ago,
Right.
which was great. But both the AFL and AFL women's team are just totally being refurbished. We need 15 more Sierra Greaves.
Geelong are starting to cook as well. They've got some
Yeah.
momentum. They've started 0-3, but have won their last 2. Crows, we've just talked about. There's some great games. The only game we're going to miss out on is on the Derby. I'm going to sit here and say West Coast pump Freo. That's my prediction.
I think, I'm happy to go with that too.
But we'll see how incredibly wrong I was. Give me one of them stings.
From inside the 10.
We now look, after a bit of W chat there, we now look to the finals next week for the men's. So Friday night is the first prelim. How exciting. Geelong and Hawthorn. Friday the 19th of September, MCG, 7:40 Melbourne time.
Are you going to go to both of these prelims?
I'll try to. I'll see how I'm feeling.
It's crazy
But
that there's 3 Melbourne prelims. It just feels...
I know it's annoying because we started with, what was it, 4-4?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
4 interstate, 4 Victorian.
Yeah.
And now we're down to 3 Victorian, 1 interstate, and the 1 interstate is the one who won the premiership last year.
Yeah, it just feels like all the bad guys have won. These are the teams that have win everything all the time. You know? It's like
So boring.
It's so crazy to me that Hawthorn is the most interesting storyline, where they have been
Yeah.
one of the most dominant clubs of this century. You know?
Yeah. There's a very, very high chance, and we're going to see the first repeat 2020s premier. So the first team to win 2 flags for the men's in this decade.
So it's only if Hawthorn won that. Yeah,
That's right.
fucking crazy.
Yeah,
So
and they're not
boring.
gonna.
Yeah, they're so. boring. I mean, I'd love them to. I'm on board. Collingwood and Hawks from here.
I think they both, knock on wood, are really poised to be great games.
Yeah.
Is what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Like they are. Hawthorn could really bring it. Geelong, despite looking world-beating, just mind-bogglingly fantastic against Brisbane the other week, just absolute world destroyers. The run before that, makes you think maybe they do have some weak spots, and if you go to work on them, you can beat them.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it's just like these are not the 3 teams to pick them out. I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, like Hawthorn, I think Hawthorn are so they're the most aura team in the AFL, I think, in the men's, I think. Fair to say? Like, they're the ones who I really am just like, what the fuck? And like, they've made Marby or Chol, a player who's okay, feel like he's incredible.
Yeah,
or like
and has incredible moments.
And Newcomb and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, I feel like they could do it, but it's most likely going to be Carlton. And then the other game, Brisbane Collingwood, you go, Brisbane are better, but they're injured. And they're coming up a team who is at their home. They're going to have umpire support. They're going to have MCG full.
Yeah.
And what happens in this game?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to entertain the idea that Brisbane can win, but yeah, I think Pies are deserved favourites.
Collingwood are still, by the way, going off one win,
in
or
like 8 rounds or whatever.
3 wins from 8 games, So they should be vulnerable too, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, I'd love to back in the Brisbane, but I don't know. It just depends on which Brisbane shows up. If Brisbane that showed up against Gold Coast shows up against Pies, then I think it's GG's for Pies, but you just never know. And Pies are awesome at times too. It's going to be a fantastic weekend of footy. I can't see any blowouts happening, at least, I feel like.
That's what we can hope for as independent watchers. We just don't want any blowouts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be, can I tell you though, it's going to be Carlton. It's going to be Collingwood versus Geelong in the grand final.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't seen that grand final recently, have we?
Oh, it happened in 2011.
Yeah, that's long enough for me to feel like that's spicy and different, at least the colours.
I remember Travis Varco playing for Geelong, immediately out of the middle, big Geelong goal. And that was back in the days when Geelong had only won one flag and was like new and exciting.
Yeah.
They won 2. That was still kind of new and exciting.
They are.
And it was Malthouse's last coaching game, wasn't it?
Oh, right. There you go.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy that they made another prelim, the Cats.
All of 4 of these teams should be just so proud of themselves for being in prelims because all of them have looked bad at points. Hawthorn, after their superstar Will Day went down, you're like, well, they're done.
Yeah.
Brisbane are back in a prelim after a grand final. Really hard to do. I don't think they're the first ones to do. I think they're the first ones to do it this decade.
Yeah, right.
Aren't they?
Say that again.
I think Brisbane are the first team to win a grand final and then come back the next year and play in a prelim.
I think you're right.
Richmond didn't do it after 2020. They were gone. Melbourne didn't do it after 2021. They were gone. Geelong didn't do it the next year. They didn't play in the 8.
Collingwood didn't.
And Collingwood
finals,
didn't.
yep.
And then, Brisbane are the first ones to do it the next year.
So difficult to do.
So that's mammoth.
Yeah, incredible.
Considering the injuries they're stacking up.
Yeah.
Geelong this is just what they do. Geelong thinks I hate them. And I do.
Yeah, because it's too good.
But I think, and no one will ever say this, but if they lose this week, then I think the criticism needs to be they just get to the prelim every year.
Which is pretty fucking sick if you're a supporter. Like you used to say last year, you said it so many times.
No, I didn't.
Just get there, it gives you a chance. Like, if you can get there, you give yourself a great chance. It's all you can ask
And
for.
Stephen King is a great coach, and you're hearing it more and more. Give me that sting, Tom, for headlines.
There's Saab, the man that lives in a garage.
So I've got some headlines here.
Dad didn't write any. He forgot.
Well, great. No, that's fine. I think you'd have the same ones as me. I think you're going to see people say Melbourne botched the selection. You're going to say they should have waited for... I think they'll just... McClure was saying it straight after, but they're going to say, like, they should have waited. Why? This is jumping at shadows.
You've had 6 weeks or whatever.
But if we'd got Buckley...
Yeah, everyone would be for it. And Buckley's going to go to Tassie and win 10 premierships, so I'm stoked for that. Works out. Win and win for me.
Interesting. I think Nathan Buckley, Tassie will really up...
Oh, it has to be. It's the obvious choice.
Might even be announced this week.
Yeah, and like... Who else? And like, what if you got like Horse as like head of football and then Buckley as coach? Like, oh, man, like how sick would that be?
I think because they're not playing they're playing VFL next year. I don't think Nathan Buckley is going to coach a VFL team.
No, it's Jeremy Webberley. He's going to coach
Who
that
dat?
team. He played, I reckon, maybe 15 games for Richmond in 2009, 10, and maybe 11.
Yeah.
There you go.
But put him up now so we can start having lunch with Zach Merritt, and be like, oh, if they can't get a trade done next year, come to me.
There's Jared Waitley said something that really shocked me.
Yeah.
He said he's less confident that the stadium is going to get done now than he was before. Like, now there's concern. Like, I thought it was a sealed deal. So that's really scary to me.
Running out of time, I guess. Like, they keep employing more people. I saw they just keep appointing people on Instagram.
The layer of new chairmans of the AFL coming in and stuff like that, I think, is making it all very cloudy. And the longer it goes on, the scarier it is.
Yeah,
considering I just danced with Rumman.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, they keep employing more people. It's as every day goes on, it's less likely that the club's going to stop.
Yeah.
Even if there's no stadium, I guess, right?
No, I think if there's no stadium, there's no team. So they all just go, okay, deal's gone,
off.
bye, see ya.
It would be such a catastrophic waste of money and time.
Yeah, AFL might have to pay $12 million to, out for Gale and Buckley and all the staff and all of that. And then they'll probably go to the Tasmanian government and say, we're going to sue you for this amount of money, and then there'll be legal battles about it. But like, it could still very much fall through, which is horrifying and very, very sad. Merritt talk all week, I think.
Yeah.
All week.
Absolutely.
Merritt is the player of this trade period.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Do you think he goes?
I hope he does, yeah.
Do you think he goes, Paddy?
I think it wouldn't have got to this point if he didn't think he was going to get out.
He's not going to the best and fairest.
No.
Yeah, it's remarkable that it would get to this point. And I remember this was the analysis of the discussion, which it's the same with Charlie Curnow, is that there won't be a formal trade request unless it can happen because they're contracted players and the club will go, absolutely not, you're not leaving. So your only option is to completely blow it up and
Yeah, I don't think it gets done somehow.
Really?
Yeah. His contract, their board just said, do not trade him.
But then you have to strip him of the captaincy. You have to. Yeah, he'll probably go to the draft if they strip him of captaincy.
Is his contract done?
No.
No, he's up for another 2 years at least, I think.
I mean, there's examples recently of like track and stuff going back after asking for trade and it being reasonably fine. So maybe it'll all be fine, but he can't be captain.
Yeah, great. They're my headlines. Can you think of any others off the top of your head?
Well, I know there'll be no Suns talk all week, which is sad. Maybe this is the most you'll hear about it.
I think being eliminated from the finals and no one talking about it's actually a good thing.
You reckon? Because
means-
it's not like you've stuffed up.
Yeah, because they're only going to go for you now if you've there's going to be Crows chat all week.
That's a good point. A lot of hit pieces on Crows, hey?
It's going to be big Crows hit pieces.
Yeah, and probably a few G-ups of Collingwood and how they're going to win the flag as well, probably, if we're going off past form.
Oh, yeah, no, that I think and there'll be plenty of hype about these big two games. Yeah. Say what you will about it being Victorian teams, which I will, but 2 prelims at the MCG going in is sick.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to be awesome.
Yeah, I was really planning on going to all the games as a Suns member, but now I'll have to think about if I can get a ticket from someone.
Tom's broken.
I would like to go, though, if anyone knows how to get a ticket. I'll just come with you to MCC.
Yeah. Well, if you tried to get in, they would call you a Malaka. We go out to our audience for the Malakas of the week. Tom, what are our Malaka? Can I just start with Melbourne Airport? It's Malaka Hall of Fame.
Sure. I had Air NZ to continue on our Malaka from last week because I just wanted to talk about him really quickly.
Please.
I was sitting there, right? And they brought dinner to every single person on the plane. Then they came up and brought drinks to every single person on the plane. I don't eat food on planes, so I said no thank you to the food. And the person giving out the drinks came to me and they're like, what would you like to drink? And I said, I'll have a Coke Zero, please. And they said, let me look at your ticket. I was like, oh, okay. I pulled out my ticket show and they're like, you don't get a drink. Meanwhile, I saw Broden had a Coca-Cola. Mark sitting next to me had a tomato juice. Chris, our sound tech, had a Stella Artois.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't I get a drink? So then I sat there without a drink. And I was like, can I pay for the drink? She was like, no, we don't do that sort of service.
Malaka around New Zealand.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Every single person on the plane got a drink except for me, and she checked my ticket. She didn't check anyone else's ticket on the plane.
No, that's Malaka behavior.
Well, anyway, that's enough tour chat. Hey, Pat, everyone's coming for Richmond AFLW for re-signing your coach. They're not happy.
Yeah,
you re-signed Fergo.
For a year, and the Tigers, as we spoke about, got belted by Geelong. We didn't kick a goal. They didn't kick a goal until the third quarter.
Yeah.
I have thoughts and feelings. I just don't know. My thinking is, so something's had to have happened, or something's in place at the club, which means we have to sort the coach out now. And the only reason I can think of is if he leaves, then Mon Conti or Ellie McKenzie probably bugger off as well.
Sure.
Your head of football, Mike Sheehan's daughter, Kate Sheehan, I saw an interview with Brendan Favola talking about how he got the job.
Yes.
And it just seemed very at the pub anecdotal and
Yes.
a little bit surprising to me that was the due diligence that was put towards that. It felt like, even though he seems to be a good coach, it seemed like an optics decision a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. It was with Sarah Burt and Georgie Parker, and I saw the same clip, and I just thought, like, and you know, all power to Brendan. I think he's actually done really good things for the Richmond forwards. The unfortunate part is that the ball just doesn't get to them at any point because the club has no pep out of halfback.
It's a bit surprising. That didn't seem super professional to me.
I'd agree with you.
It's interesting you say this. I didn't have it on the list, and I just want to throw this out. There was a few Suvers that came for Brendan Favola, and the vibe I got was that there was a lot of listeners happy that like someone from the stereotypical boys club was talking about how good W was.
No, it is. He did have a really good chat on there. I really enjoyed what I saw of that. But also I was just like, she just asked him.
He just got the job. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's what you do, though. You just shoot your shot, right?
Yeah. And he genuinely loves it. And the way he speaks about it, like you can really tell how genuine he is in support and how much he loves doing it. So more power to him.
But when you've talked about the coaching of Richmond and whether it's good or bad, I was like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Doggies extending Beveridge when they did for 2 years, halfway through the season, and they ended up missing finals. I wonder if things would have been slightly different. But then the discussion at that point was, if they don't sign Bevo, does Bont maybe leave because he's a free agent? So
Interesting. Everyone's upset at me for mozzing the Sun. Sorry, soz. And then, a lot of people, I assume Bombers fans, coming for Zach Merritt as well. I think it's tickled a few. That's the thing. That's why I think he has to leave now, because I think the fans aren't happy with him. From what I'm seeing just from our audience.
They've gone full scorch.
Yeah, they're not happy with him. They're like, this is our captain, this is not on. A lot of people upset with Merritt.
Can I give a big suva to actually the way that Essendon for a couple of days handled the whole discussion? Because it's like the club went, righto, we're going to hit this head on. So Scott went on telly, and then I think Vozzo went on radio. And then on the same day, Redmond and Nick Martin went up in 2 different broadsheets, 2 different written press, and they all had the exact same messaging. It was all in a straight line. It was excellent. It was so well done, and I think that was the Bombers basically going, we've had it up to here.
Yeah.
If you want to get out of the club, this is going to be ugly. You're going to have to fight for every inch.
And it already is.
I talked about it with our chat with Marnes the other day, but Adam Simpson said something similar. Is like, if you have a problem with the club, you're the captain. You are part of that problem.
Yeah, you're the problem, yeah. That's the thing. You're supposed to stay and work it out.
He's 30. He's not...
I think he's 30 next year.
Yeah, so he's got plenty of time to go. Like, you have plenty of time to stick around and help change the culture and build this club back up as the captain. You have plenty of time to be the leader and help change this club.
Yeah.
They would have been open with where the club was sitting at with all these discussions, unless I don't know, it was interesting. It's interesting. What other Subas?
So, Stewie Jew getting around the Suns players afterwards. People really like that.
He's always wearing a backpack. Have you noticed? He's always got his backpack on.
When I think of him in my mind, he's got a backpack. People really like that. Gunston came through a lot. Like, we spoke about it earlier.
Yeah.
A lot of W fans really hyped on Collingwood's win over Sydney, and also GWS getting their win as well. So a lot of those coming through. And that was really the overwhelming majority of it, really.
Nice positivity about games football. I like it.
Yeah, I expected more like, just Malakas about, like, Adelaide losing and stuff, but I think their fan base and stuff have just genuinely checked out.
I think they've checked it.
Yeah, there'll be no Adelaide listeners on Monday.
I do not blame you for. That's fine. Yeah. Well, another wonderful episode. Thank you, team, for joining me.
Thank you.
Longest day of our lifetime, but we did it. We got through it. Paddy, thank you for your work. Great to see your skin.
Yeah, great to see your skin too. And what skin it is.
We'll be back this week for more chats. Great to see you all.